Hey Writer Rebels, have you ever heard of Kindle Vella? Well, today we're going to talk about what Kindle Vella is and the opportunities and pitfalls it's presenting for the self-publishing community. Hello everyone, it is me, Scarlett Kol, young adult author, YouTuber, and storyteller, and today we are going to be talking about something brand new on the block, even though there's been chatter about it for probably close to a year. But today we are going to talk about Kindle Vella. So what exactly is Kindle Vella? What are the opportunities that this Kindle Vella program presents? And what are some of the pitfalls that could be coming out of the Kindle Vella program? But before we get started, I do want to thank all of my subscribers for coming back week after week and leaving me great comments. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are brand new here, make sure you're checking out the other videos on my channel. I talk about self-publishing, writing, and I do include some vlogs and other things in there as well. But if you want to be a subscriber, super simple, just hit that subscription bar and the notification bell below this video. And if you are down there, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up so YouTube knows that this is something worth watching. All right, so Kindle Vella. What is Kindle Vella? If you have not heard of it yet, Kindle Vella is the new program that Amazon has come out with for presenting written materials to a reading audience. It is a platform similar to Wattpad in the sense that it is serialized fiction and that you are receiving chapters or episodes, depending on what you want to call them, on a weekly, daily, whatever basis that the author is going to set up. However, Vella is behind a paywall, which means you will receive the first 3 chapters for free of any given story on Kindle Vella as a reader. But if you do want to progress with that story and have additional chapters or episodes, you are going to have to provide tokens to keep progressing with the story. So although serialized fiction is new to Amazon, it is not a new marketplace at all. It has been in the Asian market for a long time. Plus, there are several apps that you may already be aware of, such as Radish, Read Addict, Kiss, something like that. The cost of these chapters is quite small to the reader, I believe only a few cents each. However, the tokens will need to be bought in packs, so they'll be able to buy several chapters at a time, and that each author will earn based on the chapters that are purchased. So similar to Kindle Unlimited, if you're familiar with the Kindle Unlimited program, the more the people read, the more the author is going to get paid. Now, I need to be honest, I actually don't have any skin in this game. For the launch of Kindle Vella, it is only available to US authors, and I believe only US readers. Being a Canadian author myself and a Canadian reader, I have not been able to put anything up on Vella, but I do know several authors that are doing that, and I've been sitting back on the sidelines just kind of watching everything that's going on. As an indie author, I find it's really important to know what's going on in the marketplace, as it will affect your books and how you are producing your material going forward. Plus, if this is successful, then it may launch in other countries, and I'd like to be as prepared as possible if it does come to the Canadian market as to whether or not this is something that I want to do and how I'm going to go about doing it. However, watching from the sidelines has been very entertaining, as there have been a lot of problems with launch. I considered airing Amazon's dirty laundry, but to be fair, apparently they are listening to some of the complaints that the authors and some readers do have with the Kindle Vella program, and hopefully they're going to be making some changes. If that is the case, then I'm going to give them the props where they're due and just let them run their program as it is. However, if changes are not made, I may need to make an update to this video, as some of these things may impact how successful you are and just things to consider before going down the Kindle Vella path. But for now, I will leave those out. However, be aware, this is a new program and most programs have glitches. So give them a little bit of time to work it through. And if you are not a US author, then hopefully by the time it comes to your country, it will be already solved. So like anything new, Kindle Vella could be exciting. There's a lot of authors that jumped on it right away because they wanted to try something new, see if they can stir things up, and see what kind of opportunity it was going to present for them. As an author looking objectively at the program and speaking with other authors who are in the Kindle Vella program and watching it develop, I've come up with a list of opportunities and things that I see as pitfalls with the Kindle Vella program. Some of them may improve over time, or there might be some slight changes to how they operate things, which will make things different. But as I can see it right now, this is what I'm seeing as opportunities and pitfalls. You may or may not agree with me. This is all based on my own opinion. So if you do have any comments or anything that you want to say about these things, please make sure to leave them in the comments below, and I would love to hear them. So opportunities. Everybody wants to know the good stuff. So let's start with Kindle Vella's positives, from my opinion. The first one is obviously this is going to be a new market. They are tapping into the US reader market, but just like Kindle Unlimited, or if we want to go more simplistic and look at audiobooks versus paperback versus ebooks, they are all relatively different markets. People who enjoy audiobooks will still purchase a paperback or they'll still purchase an ebook, and there's some who are very avid readers that will purchase on all three. But most people will have a preference to how they like to read. So once this program has been going on for a while, those people who really enjoy serialized fiction will probably prefer to enjoy their content through a serialized platform. That being said, it doesn't mean that they aren't going to buy books wide or paperbacks or ebooks if there's something that they really want to read, but they are going to be a slightly different market than, say, Kindle Unlimited or wide, which is on all different platforms. This is something you've probably already heard before if you've heard things about Kindle Unlimited, that Kindle Unlimited is a different audience for wide because these people are already in this program and paying for it. So they're probably going to want to read books in the Kindle Unlimited program, which totally makes sense. And they're going to be less likely to be buying wide books because they're going to be focused on the Kindle Unlimited program. As such, people who are not in the Kindle Unlimited program will not be purchasing books through Kindle Unlimited and are therefore a different audience. Once this gets established, assuming that it does, this serialized audience is probably going to be a third audience. You will probably have your Kindle Unlimited audience, your serialized audience, as well as your wide audience. I'm ignoring audiobooks and such at this time, just electronic platforms to make a fair comparison. So this is going to create a possibility to expand your existing audience if you already have one established somewhere else. However, it's also going to segregate your audience a little bit as well, because if you stick more with serialized fiction, then you are cutting off your Kindle Unlimited readers and your wide readers. One thing about the program is that they had originally asked for only exclusive content that would only be published on Vella, and that after it was completed, you could eventually take it off and then publish it as a book much later. Now they are only requiring a certain amount of time after it's been on Vella before you can publish it as a novel. So that has been a benefit to a lot of authors. So they still will be able to dip their toe in the traditionally thought of paperback ebook formats, as well as keeping their stuff in Vella. So that is going to be a bit of a change for some authors. And in a lot of cases, they are seeing that as the best of two worlds. There are now kind of three worlds, so that's very interesting, but this could be a good hybrid model to get content into Vella to start out with. The second opportunity that I see with Kindle Vella is it gives authors an opportunity to try something new. This is a brand new platform, something they've never tried before. So if they wanted to go in with something a little bit different to try it out, this could be a really great way to do that. For instance, I know some authors that strictly write paranormal romance, and they are going into Kindle Vella with a pen name and trying their hand at contemporary. This is giving them a chance to see if this is something that they actually really enjoy writing with a live audience. It's not the same as having a beta reader that you rely on all the time. Objective or not, they probably already like your work. This is being able to put that out to a blind audience and really seeing if it takes off. The opportunity there is if it doesn't, or that author doesn't in particular like writing in this new style, even this is something that they wanted to try for a little bit, they can cut the story a little bit shorter and just move on. If it does end up being successful, this may be something that they want to pivot to in their regular publishing plan. So this can be a great opportunity for them to try something just a little bit different with their audience. And similarly to that is the third opportunity that I see with Vella, and this is an outlet for passion projects. Everybody has them. Any author that I know of has a list of books that they want to get out and write. However, there's always those ones that are a little bit off their brand or are totally different than what they normally write, but they're really interested in doing that. Instead of maybe trying one of those projects and putting it out as a full-blown book that doesn't necessarily fit your brand, which is something you can totally do, Kindle Vella gives you the opportunity to play with some of those passion projects, put them up on a different platform, and not deter from what you're building on the sidelines with your regular publishing business. It allows you to indulge in that space opera passion project without interrupting your contemporary steamy romance audience. It gives you a place to play, and it doesn't necessarily have to be under your regular name. Plus, in the compartmentalized chapter episode series kind of thing, you don't necessarily have to link it to your other work. Granted, this isn't any different from you just releasing another book under a pen name that's different than what you normally write because it keeps the brand separate. However, the nice thing about it being episodic is the sense that if you don't find as much joy from it as you're hoping, or it really doesn't take off, you don't have to commit to a full-blown novel. If you decide that it's just not working out, you can cut it off at a novella, assuming that you've planned this well, and move on with the rest of your life instead of investing all of that time and energy into a full-blown book and marketing to see where that's going to go. The next opportunity I see with Kindle Vella is it gives people the opportunity to become better writers. So how are you going to be a better writer? Well, the fact is, as a reader, they're only given 3 chapters. So by the end of that 3rd chapter, if you want them to be paying for tokens to continue reading your story, you're going to need to hook them well and good by this point. And then you're going to need to keep them hooked all the way through that they're going to want to finish this book. Some authors already write this way and do a great job of doing it. However, there are some authors, myself included, that could use a little work on their ending chapter hooks to keep the readers moving forward. By putting it in a serialized format like this, to be successful, you're going to need to be able to keep those hooks coming. So this gives you an opportunity to strengthen your writing, improve your pacing, to make sure that it's marketable to this type of audience. Overall, I think this is a great benefit because hopefully those writers are going to take that new ability and transfer it to their other books, and therefore the whole collection of books in the world is going to get that much better and that much more entertaining because those writers are sharpening and honing those skills. And the last opportunity that I see is that the early adopters get the worm. So just like it was with Kindle Unlimited, those people that jumped on Kindle Unlimited right away did very well. They learned from their mistakes and started building an audience immediately. A lot of those people who jumped on it, who are still in publishing, are still doing well because of the benefit of early adoption. If this program doesn't take off, it is possible that they have wasted their time. However, if it does become the next big thing, those people who have jumped on it right away and built a solid following may benefit the most than anyone in this business. However, with the good comes the bad. So obviously there's going to be opportunities, but there's going to be pitfalls to this program as well. From the onset, this is the ones that I see as being the biggest problems. They may iron themselves out over time, or policies with Amazon may change that will improve or possibly make worse some of these situations. But from the outset, this is what I can see. Number 1, you may have some very upset readers. So there's a couple of different things that could upset your readers, but the first one I want to talk about is having to wait for a book. So like I had said about audiences in my first section on opportunities, you are going to be segregating your audience. Some people are really going to like this serialization of stories. Some people are not going to like it, just like I don't like audiobooks. I have nothing against audiobooks. I just zone out when I'm listening to them. So it is not my preferred way to read a book. I would rather have an ebook or a paperback before I go to an audiobook. That would be my third choice. Whereas for some people, serialization is going to be their third choice. If you're already a successful author, you may have some ride or die fans who will go to serialization even if it's not their preferred method, just because they want to read your work. However, there are some that are just not going to transfer over. And depending on what you're doing on that platform, it may make a difference. If you are doing passion projects, side projects, and you're not deterring from your regular publishing plan that readers expect from you and that they know are coming up, then it may not cause that much of a problem. However, if you are choosing to put your books up on Kindle Vella before you publish them, because like I said, you can put them in Vella for a period of time, and then after they have done their run in Vella, you can put them up as a novel or in a different published format. If readers are having to wait for that book because you were putting it up in Vella first and other people are getting to read it and they aren't, you may be upsetting some of those readers who are not willing to go to the Kindle Vella platform. The other thing that may upset readers in terms of waiting is if you are trying to balance Kindle Vella with your regular publishing plan, if you are not a particularly fast writer, or even if you are and there are expectations that you have already set with that reader base because you've been doing it for a while, they may have to wait longer for regular published stories, and vice versa. Your Kindle Vella audience might need to wait while you finish a regular length novel for your other publishing plans. Either way, both audiences will have to wait in some sort of situation. If you are ahead of everything, then maybe you totally have this under control. However, there is a case that your readers are going to get disappointed in you splitting your attention to two different things when they are hoping that you are going to stick with one or the other. The second pitfall is in terms of quality and reader perceived quality. So some authors are using completed books to put it up on Kindle Vella, and that includes having all of their editing done and then putting them up episodically. Some authors are just putting up a self-edited version of each episode, and then when they go to publish it as a final novel, will have their editing done. Some authors only self-edit, so it's really hard to say who's going to come in where and what they're going to decide is necessary. However, if they are writing right up to Vella, are they going to be pursuing an editor for those pieces, even though they would have if it was a regular length novel? Some authors are going to be able to pull this off, some authors aren't. The thing that I'm concerned about with readers is the fact that if authors are putting stuff up on Kindle Vella and they are only self-editing, whereas they normally would have a more thorough edit later on in the process, is it going to upset readers that they have paid all the way through for this story, and then that book is going to be edited and then released as a published version, and then somebody's going to pay similar or the same amount of money to have a, I don't want to say more superior product, but more polished product, because all of the other editing and what needs to happen has already been in place. This may not end up being a thing, but I could see readers getting very upset thinking that they have to buy two versions of the same story, or feeling like they're not getting the same sort of value that they would be getting with the published novel in the end. My next two pitfalls kind of play hand in hand a little bit, and the first one is shock value for shock value's sake. One great opportunity for authors is to learn how to do their hooks better, to keep the pacing going and keeping their audience on the edge of their seats. However, I do see that there could be a risk of authors using shock value just to shock people. So there is the chance that they could just be putting in twists and turns that actually don't really go anywhere. Pretty Little Liars. If anybody has ever watched that show, this is a hill that I will die on. There are so many twists and turns in that show that lead to absolutely nothing. They have no purpose of being there, and some of them don't even make any sort of sense. But they put them in there to keep the audience on their toes, even though it wasn't planning to go anywhere. This is extremely frustrating the further you get along in a series, because you eventually stop trusting the writers or the author, because you know it's not going to amount to anything. So I do fear that there's going to be some people who are going to just throw in hooks to keep people buying chapters, but it's not going to amount to anything, and it's really going to turn readers off. I could be wrong on this one, but I could see it happening, as it's probably a very lucrative way to get people to buy chapters. The next one that I find that probably comes part and parcel with this is that you're going to see a lot more meandering stories. So as much as we're going to have hooks keeping you going along, this story is going to be epically long when it shouldn't be, just so they can pack in more chapters. The more chapters, the more opportunity to get paid, because people have to buy more tokens. There's nothing ethically wrong with this. Anybody can really do that, but I would probably be really frustrated as a reader if the story doesn't end up going anywhere or drags on forever. I think it would be really, really frustrating, and I would feel kind of cheated personally as a reader. The next pitfall I've kind of alluded to already is the sense that this is going to take time away from your other self-publishing business. So if you have already done a lot of work and you've started establishing yourself, then obviously writing for Kindle Vella is going to take you away from writing your other material. If you are putting everything through Vella first and then putting the novels out, then obviously there's going to be a waiting period in between getting your stuff on Vella and then having it up as a novel. If you've got your production schedule down pat, it may not impact you that much, but the time uploading those episodes, monitoring that stuff, it's just one more thing to do. And the last pitfall that I can see in the Kindle Vella program at this point is the penalty to authors for promotions. So, for instance, in Kindle Unlimited, the Kindle Unlimited program, authors are paid by page read based on how much money the fund has earned, and then it's split out by page reads to all of the authors in the program. If Amazon has a promotion where they give out a bunch of free subscriptions, then, sorry, apparently somebody wanted to be on video. So if Amazon has a program where they are giving a bunch of free Kindle Unlimited subscriptions away, it's going to take out from the entire fund, and all of the authors that are in Kindle Unlimited are going to slightly feel a little bit of that pain because the fund is just going to come down in general. So you get paid less per page read, but you're still getting paid per page read. However, because this is on a token basis, it's going to depend on whether or not these are free tokens or whether or not they are paid tokens. At the time of filming, my understanding of this is obviously you are not being paid for those first 3 chapters that everyone is being given. So if people do not continue with your story and everybody reads your first 3 chapters over and over and over again, you are not getting paid a cent on those chapters. However, they're also giving away free tokens to a lot of the subscribers that are coming through just to get them interested in the program. Obviously, this will dwindle a little bit, but if they are having trouble getting it off the ground, they may give away even more tokens. My understanding is that they will not pay on free tokens. So if somebody is using free tokens to read your story, you are not going to get paid on that. They aren't giving out that many free tokens, so it may not make that much of a difference in the end. And obviously with a brand new program, it is expected that there are going to be some promotions. If they do continue this ongoing, then I could see that being a problem. However, for right now, jumping right in, it's not going to be a way to make some quick, easy money right off the bat because there are these promotions that you are going to have to wade through. Obviously, this will depend when it goes to other countries, whether or not they continue to do that. Giving away free samples is not uncommon, so it's something that I don't think will persist too long, but you are going to be having to carry the weight of any free tokens that are given. And if you happen to be a popular author that people are using a lot of their free tokens for, you may not be making as much off this program as you originally intended. All right, so as you can see, Kindle Vella should change the game a little bit as long as it sticks around. Some programs are successful, some programs aren't. So we're gonna see how well the authors and readers take to this and whether or not it's going to expand into other countries. Obviously, it's going to have good points, it's gonna have bad points, but you need to decide what makes the most sense for you and your self-publishing business. Let me know if you are going to be trying out Kindle Vella, and if you're a reader and trying out Kindle Vella, what do you think so far? Is this something that you think is going to revolutionize the reading business, or do you think it's just going to be a flash in the pan? However, if you are a self-published author, or you are just starting out and considering self-publishing, there is the Heart Breathing's Publish and Thrive course that has just reopened and it will be starting on August 9th. This is a fantastic course led by Sarah Cannon from the Heart Breathing's YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out her channel, you definitely should. She is very charismatic, very positive, and totally knows her stuff. She's been in self-publishing for several years, and she's created this course called Publish and Thrive on how to create long-term strategic plans as well as the basics of self-publishing and how to create your self-publishing business. If this is something that interests you, I do have an affiliate link below in the description box. I only am an affiliate for those things that I truly believe in. This is a course that I have actually taken myself and I fully endorse it. It is a video-based course and you are given lifetime access. So just like any of the other students coming up through August 9th, if I want to take this course again, I am fully welcome to do so as many times as I want. So that is the really, really great thing about that. And I do reference her videos quite regularly to solve some of my self-publishing problems as they arise. So if you are interested in that, is a great, great course. You can click on the link and it's going to give you all of the description of the course. And if you are interested in that, clicking my affiliate link isn't going to cost you any more money if you do sign up for that course, but it does give me a little bit of a kickback for endorsing this for her. I fully endorse this course. It's really, really great. If you want to learn the basics of self-publishing, it I would totally recommend this. However, if you are not sure if this course is for you, I would definitely be interested in taking messages. You can put them in the comments, or I believe my email address or Instagram are on my about page. You can definitely message me and I will answer any questions that you need. So if you are interested in that, it's in the box below. If you're not interested in that, that's cool. I'll be back next week to talk more about writing and publishing. If you are not a subscriber, but you do want to know more about my videos, you can hit that subscription bar and the notification bell below this video for them to let you know every time I put out new content, which is typically on Thursdays. If you want to hit a like while you're down there and let YouTube know this is a video worth watching, that would also be great. And like I said, if you are trying out Kindle Vella as an author or a reader, I would love to hear about your experiences. So please put those in the comments below, and I can't wait to read them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back next week.